Patrick Cook here. Welcome to session number 4 of our tutorial series number 4, which is titled Fun with Mandelbulb Mutations. In the previous session, I was talking about utilizing the MutaGen to increase productivity and creativity. All right. Now, another way to look at the value of the MutaGen tool is to think of it in terms of fast-tracking the laborious discovery process, okay? And as I was showing, I mean, I can certainly come up into the main editor and I can manually make modifications to the formula construct. And I can do that using the navigator, all right? And I can do that. Would I have a mutation? Well, I wouldn't think of it that way. What I would have done is I would have modified this one, well, we can think of it as a child or a foundational child of our MutaGen generation mutations. What I would have done is I would have modified the properties of one of these children, okay? What I probably wouldn't have done is modify the properties to give me something else and then radically changed, say, the formula to give me something else, and then maybe radically change the formula again to give me something else. What I'm trying to say is that more likely, at least what I have found, is more likely I would sit and I would tweak a particular Mandelbulb graphic. But I probably wouldn't radically change the graphic to see what happens. Let me just illustrate it to you. Okay, let's just take this graphic this is a mutant, all right? Okay, so I know I've alternate mode, I've got a transform here, and I've got a mod 1. Okay, and I probably would, let's try 1.9 for the scale, see what happens. Okay, not a whole lot happened. Okay, not a whole lot happened. So, okay, so the point I'm making is I probably would sit here and I would modify the properties of my existing Mandelbulb graphic or formula construct. Okay. Would I radically change the formula? I don't know. Maybe. I probably could. All right, it's, what do we got here? We got mag, VS. Okay, let's just throw something else in there. Anything. Calculate. All right, okay, all right. Now I could change the properties. This is the process of manually discovering your Mandelbulb, your Mandelbulb graphic, okay? If I use the MutaGen, I basically fast-track the process of modifying the formula construct. And I allow the application to create these tests, T-E-S-T-S, tests. I allow the graphic to test the various permutations of formula construct changes. I manually probably would not have done that level of testing. Let's just mutate. All right, so there's our mutation based upon these configuration settings. We're going to talk about that. But here is the mutations based upon this base child. All right, a mutant, a mutant, a mutant, a mutant, a mutant, a mutant. Okay, so do I like any of those? Nah, I don't like any of them. But that's the whole point, is that I used the MutaGen tool to test these mutations. And I don't like any of them. And I can't use any of them, all right? And I don't like any of them. So, but I did not have to go through the manual process of discovering each of those mutations. I let the system do it for me. This is what I refer to as fast-tracking your discovery process. All right, you fast-track it. You allow the system, the application, to test to see whether or not there's anything down in there in terms of a mutation that you like and that you can use. I probably would not have put the effort in to mutate all this level. Now keep in mind, now this is an important key, what I'm going to tell you right here. All right, this mutation is a mutation of the child earlier in the generation branch. So this is a mutation of this one. All right, now this one right here is a mutation of this mutant. And this mutation is a mutation of this mutant. All right, now that's a critical point to remember, that by the time you get here, you've mutated 2 other times. Mutant, 1, 2, and of course this is can be considered a mutant as well, because it's coming out of your main editor. All right, so all right, mutation of this one. This is a mutation of this one. This is a mutation of this one. By the time we get here, we've mutated 1, 2, well, 2 times. All right, that's key. Would I have manually mutated that many levels? Probably not. Unlikely not. In all the use of the Mandelbulb3D fractal generator that I have done, I've been using it for, I don't know, maybe 7 years, okay? I have never ventured this far down. All right, manually. All right, so the point I wanted to make in this session is that the MutaGen is, one of the use cases of the MutaGen is to fast-track your discovery process. You likely would not experiment with the formula construct to that level. You allow this application to do that for you, all right? And what that effectively does is it gives you more options in your discovery process, trying to discover a great graphic that you want to run with. Either you want to make a still out of it or you want to make an animation out of it. Okay, so that's another use case, okay, to fast-track your discovery process. Okay, all right, that's enough for this session. Let's go ahead and end it here, and when we come back in the next session, I am going to explain what I think is the absolute killer secret of the MutaGen application tool, which can really make or break an animation project for you. Okay? So I very much hope that you return into session 5, and we're going to talk about that use case, which I think you'll find quite interesting. I'll see you in the next session.